Sean Zool with Engearment.com podcast, vlogcast, YouTube video, whatever you want to call it. All the above. This episode is all about celebrating the 7,000 subscribers on YouTube. Yes, you, if you're a subscriber. Thank you so much for being part of the team and supporting us over the years and offering insights and sharing your opinions on the gear and how you use it. The YouTube channel has become one of my favorite things. We started Engearment 7-8 years ago as a website. Then we got a YouTube account simply to upload a video of how the gear worked and then embed it into the write-up. And the write-up was the focus. And it still is for a lot of our riders who enjoy riding. But I've learned through the process of creating these videos, going from using a smartphone to professional gear now, the joys of audio video production and lighting and how to make things look better and of course sound clear. That's the number one thing. I used to shoot these videos outdoors in a snowstorm and like, look, we're testing this split board up in the mountains. Yeah. And it was beautiful and it was authentic, but the audio was horrible. And what I've learned is people will tune in for the content and the video, but they will leave right away if the audio is anywhere near bad. Hence, microphones. And over the years, I've learned it's not about necessarily the gear, it's the application. This could have been a $20 microphone going into a smartphone and it would be totally fine, but won't look as good. And I don't know how many people can tell differences as a Sony a7 IV with a good lens and a ND filter and the DJI wireless microphone. I think it sounds good and looks good, which is why I like using it. And in this whole process of learning better audio and video, it has also become something we do professionally. We get hired from companies to set up seminars so they can present their information in the best ways possible. Case in point, I got to work with my hero, Pavel Tatulin, several times now, at least 4 times in the last couple years. Hired me to set up cameras and audio and video so he can present in the best way possible around the world. It's an absolute honor to get to do that. So it's all because we started a YouTube channel and learned about audio and video through sheer trial and error. We didn't take any special courses or go to school for this. We just got reprimanded a lot for having bad audio or bad video. And so we learned. And so here we are. It's fun. I enjoy doing this. And also, 7,000 people. It's amazing. I'd rather have 7,000 great fans of Engearment than 7 million people subscribed. The people we have on our Engearment YouTube channel are fantastic. I appreciate all of you. The comments, the insights. I'm constantly learning from you, as is the audience. At least maybe once a day, I'd say on average, one of you puts up a comment that I never knew existed. I didn't know the material was this, or I didn't know that the optics on the sunglasses did that, or I didn't know something. If I didn't know it, I'm sure other people on our YouTube channel didn't know it either. So thank you for sharing your wisdom with others. Absolutely admire that. It's a fun platform to learn from. It's a fun platform to teach on as well. It's so rewarding. And hopefully the videos are helpful, not just the gear reviews, but the interviews. Like last 2 weeks ago, we had Pat Flynn on there. And Pat Flynn, again, is a mentor of mine from Kettlebell Fitness World. And that's, I think, that 9th time or 10th time he's been on the Engearment podcast. Absolute joy to hang out with. So we get to do really great interviews with not only people in the health and fitness industry, but also the outdoor industry, as you have probably seen. When we go to outdoor retail, I try and film as many of those meetings. So, one, you can feel like you're there. So you can feel like you're immersed in the outdoor industry and see what's coming up as the companies are presenting it. It's super fun, and I hope you find it enjoyable too. Case in point, 2 weeks ago, James Terry, a fellow Engearment writer and video creator, and I went to the Outdoor Market Alliance, and that was incredible. We had 30 meetings over a course of a day and a half, of which I shot videos for, I believe, 15, so I have at least 10 of those up right now. And again, hopefully you get to have that excitement and that feeling like you are with us going through, seeing what's coming out for next year, 2023, from companies like Sierra Designs and Thule and Smartwool and a dozen more that we have up there. So if you want to see those meetings, you can go onto our YouTube channel. And then the product reviews. That was like the whole reason we started the YouTube channel, was to put up how the items worked or the services worked, and then embed it into the article like I mentioned earlier. But in the process, I think the reach is bigger on the YouTube than it is on the website. 4 million views this year. That's a lot of views. That's a lot of people who are curious about, say, this jacket, Outdoor Vitals Nova Pro. Awesome jacket, got the review up yesterday, check it out. Right here, a lot of people check us out for Patagonia. I feel like we're like the biggest Patagonia reviewing company out there. This comes out in 2023. It is the Nano Air Light R1 Hybrid, and I've been living in it for the last 2 months. Got a review up on that as well. And the reviews, I love doing them. We get asked sometimes, why don't you do bad reviews? Well, there's a lot of reasons. One, my parents tell me to never speak ill of anybody. If you have anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. So oftentimes, gear will come in and it doesn't meet our criteria. We don't think it's good enough to review or to share that with you. So we go back to the company and say, hey, we're not going to go live with this review because the zippers failed, or the thing was defective, or there's this other opportunity we see, and I know this is a beta, pre-production, whatever, but once you get that refined, come back to us and we'll probably work with you, you know? So we do that. We go back to the company and give them feedback. And then the other big two, it's a freaking waste of time. Waste of time for us to put negative energy out there, to spend time complaining about something, and then to put that negative energy out there, then it can potentially affect others. Some things I've learned over my life. You get back what you put out. So we put out positive mojo because we like to receive positive mojo. So those are the two reasons why we don't do bad reviews. It's an opportunity. I go back to the business. As a small business owner myself, if I had opportunity to improve my services or product, I would want to know. I want to learn and improve, make it right. And two, it's a waste of time to complain, as I'm kind of complaining. But, you know, there are always critics out there, and some people do like video reviews where they're just complaining about stuff. I find it disgusting, so I don't do it. Now, the opposite end of the spectrum, some people have said that the reviews I do personally, not other writers are their own writers, that I'm salesy, and gosh, that sounds kind of sickening to me too. I don't work for any of these companies. I only work with companies that I want to work with. We get offered all the time to be sponsored by a brand, be the official whatever with Engearment, and I say no. And we get offered to be paid for content all the time. I say no. So I don't think I can have the integrity and authenticity to do 5 reviews a week for different brands if we were affiliated with that one brand. We'd be kind of stuck there. It's not for me, it's not for us. But hopefully that makes sense. How the process usually works. On any given day, probably get 20, 30 pitches from companies. Hey, want to send you this thing to work on. And this might be surprising, but of those, let's say 20 pitches, I'll only work with 1 or 2. The other ones, sometimes I don't even reply because they're just blanket pitches and I just don't care. Oftentimes the gear is not in line with our audience, with you guys. And then other times, I just don't have the excitement for it. And for me, if it's not a hell yeah, it's a hell no. So those 1 or 2 things that I'm excited about out of the 20 or 30, I'm like, hell yeah, that is cool. Yeah, we definitely want to test a 4-season tent, or we want to test the newest merino wool, or what have you, because that's something we really care about. So what I'll do is after the interaction happens, I'll take a brief note, what the thing is and why I'm excited about it, or why the audience might be excited about it. And then when the item comes in, we come up, we test it, and then if I need to, I'll refer back to notes. Oh yeah, that's why I was excited about this thing. And then I get that the passion comes through and I get excited about it. Like I'm really excited about this Outdoor Vitals Nova Pro. I was just texting the owners this morning. I went up to the top of the mountain over there, Jones Pass, to get 1 bar of service and send them an email and say, hey man, I flipping love this jacket and here's why I used it. And the review is live. Same thing with Patagonia, the Nano Air Hybrid. Love working with Patagonia and it shows, right? And sometimes we'll be up camping or doing an activity and there'll be a failure or something. Say like a lantern wasn't bright enough or there was a defect in something. I'm like, gosh, I really need a new one of these. Then I'll write that note down and say in the morning, go back and say, reach out to some companies. Here's an example. Going up here on Jones Pass, I broke a split boarding compressible pole. So got back to cell service, and I reached out to Black Diamond and MSR and some other companies. Hey, do you guys have any carbon graphite trekking poles that are collapsible coming up we can work on? And they was like, yes. They'll send one over or a couple over, and then we do the review. So that's why majority of the time in the videos I do, and some of the other writers too, we're excited. We're really genuinely excited about the product and what it allows us to do. So hopefully that passion and authenticity comes through. That's why and also I love being outdoors, and I love helping, I love teaching. If I can come up here and show you how something works, and my dog Chloe can come up here and run around, and I get to be outside, and it's fun, it's enjoyable, and hopefully it comes through. So hopefully that answers the angle of why things seem so excitable. So I'm a pretty excitable guy, and again, if it's not a hell yes, then it's a hell no. So there's a majority of things that we say no to, and we just don't waste our time. So anything worth doing is worth doing really well and really excitable. So that's why I'm so excited about stuff. All right, and it's this fun thing too. If I look back at those numbers, 4 million views this year. Of those 4 million views, only 4% were from subscribers. So that means 96% of people who watch the videos and the interviews and the podcast aren't subscribers, which is bonkers. Most YouTube channels, it's like a 20 to 50% subscriber. So if we had 20% of 4 million on subscribers, this would be, I would retire from doing the fitness business probably and just run the YouTube channel with the Engearment Riders, live out of a van and do that kind of thing. But 7,000, I'll take 7,000 good interactions over 7 million any day. Quality over quantity, always. Whether we're talking about this or we're talking about fitness or health, quality over quantity. But hopefully this little 12-minute video gives you some insight into Engearment, how we operate, and I just want to celebrate you 7,000 subscribers. Thank you for all your support over the years. Sean Sewell of Engearment. Until next time, take care.